name's Oakenfull and I'm a tutor and course developer at Point Blank Music School. And we're here today with Ableton at Sync Studios in Barcelona for Sonar 2013. And for this video, I'm going to be looking at a classic track by Skream. It's called Midnight Request Line. This track came out in 2005 and Skream was a real dubstep pioneer, so it's a very influential track, and there's some really interesting elements that I'm going to try to recreate using Ableton Live 9, and I'm going to talk a little bit how I've created the presets, and then I'm going to try programming the track using push here. Try not to kind of look at the screen as much as possible. So just to kick things off, I've actually got the track, I've put it into Ableton, you can see it here, and I've divided it up into various sections. So let's just have a little quick listen through to those and just kind of establish what key we're in and what the chords are. So we have our kind of intro here. And one of the real distinctive things about this track is this arpeggio. There's a great beat here, and the bass. So all of this I'm going to call the kind of A section, and then we get to this section here, which is like the B section, different chords. So let's just have a look at the key signatures to start off with. I've got a Rhodes sound here. We're in C minor. But you notice it's got a real chromatic sound to it because we have this C minor chord and then it goes down a semitone to a B minor. And then for the B section, we go to an F minor chord and an E minor chord. So A section, C minor, B section, F minor, E minor. So I think we're going to start off by programming the beat. I'll just remind you of that. This comes in here. Sounds to me like a kind of pretty standard 909 kit. So we'll do the beat and then we'll go on to the kind of arpeggio sound and talk about how I've gone about recreating that. So I'm going to just get rid of the keyboard here. We're going to go back over to this mode here, session mode, and let's go over to the push. So first things first, I'm going to load up the kit. So I'm going to click on Add Track, and we're going to go to Drum Rack here, scroll down to the user library, and this is a kit that I've created already. It's called Midnight Kit. There we go, it's loading up. So you can hear it's pretty much just an adaptation of a 909. So we're going to start off with this hi-hat, and I'm actually going to put this in using the step sequencer. So it's going to take accent off. We're just going to check the tempos, 140, and we can leave the quantize. Well, it's actually the record quantization is on at the moment, so we'll leave that. So I'm going to start off just by creating a 1-bar loop. I'm just going to mute the original backing track. There we go. So we've created one, and I'm just going to program this in. So we've got the hat. There we go. Let's just play that. And I'm just going to accent the these beats here. Now I want to make this into a 4-bar loop. So I'm just going to click on the double button here twice. And then that's copied that pattern over and made it into a 4-bar loop. And what we have on the last bar, just for the last kind of eight notes, 8 beats, we have a like a sort of 16th kind of pattern. So I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to take the accent off and just put that in like that. There we go. It sounds like there's a bit of a volume crescendo there. So I can actually put that in using push. And if I just hold down each one of these beats here, or the pads, I can just adjust the velocity, and you can see the actual colours kind of getting a bit dimmer, the blue. So let's just start off kind of at the bottom and just build it back up and try to just make each one kind of slightly increment in velocity. There we go. I'm kind of guessing this a little bit, so maybe I can kind of adapt it once I've listened to it. Let's have a listen now. So let's put that back on. Okay, so there we go. We've got our hi-hat pattern there. Let's go for the clap now. So again, I'm going to use the step sequencer. Let's make these accented. Cool. And then let's go for the kick drum. So there we go. We've got our drum pattern there. We're going to come back to this, maybe kind of like add some beats once we get to the B section, but that's working pretty well as our main kind of A section beat. So now we're going to look at this arpeggio sound. So I'm going to talk a bit about how I've recreated this. So I'm going to click on Add Track. There we go, it brings up the browser. I'm going to go to Analog. And this is in my synth miscellaneous section. Here we go, Midnight Riff. Cool, now there are basically three different types of arpeggio going on here. I'm just going to go back to this electric piano sound here. There's the kind of fast, almost like 16th kind of notes. And at the start it just plays 2 notes as well. And then for the B section, it goes to an 8th note feel. So what I wanted to do was to try to figure out a way of being able to perform this live with push. And the way I went about it was to actually create some chains, 3 different chains, each with slight variations in the device settings, and then assign those chains using the chain selector to a macro. So I'll just demonstrate to you now how that's worked. First of all, I'm just going to change the scale to C minor, which is the scale we're in, and I'm going to change it to chromatic as well. You click on the device key here. So this is our main one here. But then I can just adjust this macro here to go to the 8th note. And then I can also play the first bit of it as well. So let's just have a quick look at that and how I've built that chain. Let's go to the main pattern here. So what we have here is the chord device, and then a note length device and an arpeggiator, and then you can see here it's playing an analog device here. So if I take all these off, the chord, the note and the arpeggiator, let's just select the right chain. I think I'm playing chain 1 there, so let's just select this one here. Okay, so let's take these off. So this is just a note on its own. Now if I play the arpeggiator, turn that on, again if I just hold down one note, it's just going to play that as 16th. It's only when I hold down other notes that it's actually going to start playing different notes from the chord. So the way I got around that was to create a chord device, and if I just go to the keyboard here, I programmed in, using the chord device, the actual notes of the chord here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 notes, and you can see those there. So then if we put the arpeggiator back on, and for the first intro art pattern on the first chain here, I had exactly the same thing, but I restricted the note length. So I've got it here just to, it says 209. If I just increase that, you can see it's playing more and more of it. There we go. And then just going to the third one in the chain. If we look at the arpeggiator here, I've changed the rate to 1/8, which kind of slows it down. So let's try putting that in. I'm just going to take the keyboard off again now. There we go, and let's just play the beat. So let's do the first arp pattern first, which is just the 2-note one. I'm going to put the metronome on just to help me keep in time. We've got record quantization on. Let's just start again. Let's just delete that. Cool, so that's working really well. Straight away I'm just going to go to session view, and actually what I'm going to do is press new, and then that's I can then put in the second arpeggio riff. So let's record that in. Cool, that's working really well. So let's have a look at some more sounds now. The next one I want to put in is a pad sound. So I'm going to click on add track here. It's going to bring up the browser, and then we have our analog here. Let's go to pad, and here we go. We've got the midnight chords here. And you remember this for this main A section, we've got a C minor and a B minor chord. Let's just play along. Let's record that in. It's working well. So let's also record that on the first scene as well. Now you notice that going back to that first scene, it hasn't actually changed the chain in the arpeggio. So what we need to do is actually write that in as automation. So I'm just going to go back to that scene there. And I'm just going to write that in. There you go, that's gone to the right one now. And then if we go to shoot over to the next one, I'm going to then change that to the second arp pattern. Just writing in that automation. So now when we switch between the two, so I'm going to add a bass line now. So I'm going to duplicate that scene. There we go. And let's go back to device here. Let's click on add track, analog. Let's shoot up to the bass sounds, and let's try to get a kind of really dubsteppy bass. Here we go. Sounds nice. Let's put that in. Cool, so we can work a little bit on the arrangement now. What we can actually do is just take out the beat for the first two scenes. So I'm just going to hold down delete, there we go, and this one as well. There we go, so we're building up the arrangement now. So now I want to work on the B section, so I'm going to duplicate this scene. Here we go. And let's just get rid of the chords and the arpeggio. There we go, let's go back here and let's put in this one now. And we can then select the third arc pattern, which is this one here. So let's put that in, put the metronome on. Okay, and I'm just going to write in that automation as well to select that arc pattern. Cool, and then I'm going to shoot over to the chords, and these are actually the same chords, the C minor and the B minor, but played an octave up. So let's click on the octave up button there. So let's record that in. Cool, let's go to the bass line. And we're playing an F here, we're underpinning that arpeggio with the bass line, and it's a little bit more rhythmic, there's a bit more of a pattern here, so let's play that. So let's go shoot over to the session view. So we can now flick between the A section. The B section. If you remember earlier I talked about the beat and how we can add some sounds. I think there's some extra kick drums going on there. So if we go to the beat, I'm just going to add these in on the step sequencer. Let's put the accent on. Cool, so one slight variation. After the B section, the A section comes back in, but the bass line changes a little bit. So let's duplicate this scene. There we go, and let's just select our bass sound. Let's just delete that. So now we've got our scenes, we could actually try recording this into the arrangement and then maybe try playing something over the top. There's a nice kind of harp sound that he put in. So what we do is we can then go over to this arrange page here. There we go, click on records, and let's just going to put down a rough arrangement just to sort of see how it can work. So here we go. Let's go to the B section now. Leave that running a little bit, and then we can shoot to the section with a slightly different bass line. So there we go. We've got our track in now, rough arrangement. Just click on this button here, and then we can actually see how that's gone in. So let's just bring up this last sound that I want to look at, which is the ARP sound. So I'm going to click on Add Track again, and this is a tension sound, if I remember rightly. Here we go, it's in guitar and plucked, Midnight Harp, there we go. I'm going to play this on the keyboards, and let's take the level down a little bit. So this comes with over the transition from the A section to the B section. Let's just try recording that in straight into the arrange page. There we go. Maybe try a little bit of improvising over the bass section. So there we go. I've put in the fundamental elements of the track, and obviously there's kind of other stuff that was going on in the track, you know, sort of various effects and things, but these are the main parts. And you can see how easy it is to put this stuff in using Push, pretty much you're not looking at the screen as well. And also kind of, you know, you can perform things as well with a bit of playing around with racks and chains as well, and assigning things to the macros. You know, you can really get into sort of some performance as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm off now to check out some of the acts at Sonar by Day. Really looking forward to seeing Matthew Herbert later, and I hope we see you again very soon.
At Point Blank Online, you've got two methods of interaction with your tutor. Firstly, you've got the weekly online masterclass, which is in real time. And then also we've got feedback on your assignments, and that's known as DVR. So the online masterclass is a 1-hour session you get with your tutor every week. You can ask questions about the lesson content and get instant feedback, and also demonstrations on the fly from their computer desktop with our streaming technology. DVR stands for Direct Video Response, and the concept is really simple. You upload your Ableton, Logic or Cubase project file to your tutor, he downloads it and then pushes record on the screen capturing software and evaluates your work, so basically giving you one-to-one feedback. You see all of the mouse movements and any parameter changes made by your tutor. It's kind of like sitting in the studio over their shoulder watching what they're doing whilst they work. We have found the DVR process has truly revolutionized the way that we teach online, and the results speak for themselves. Book your place on a course now by visiting pointblankonline.net.